Okay, so I want to kind of show you what building two legs is going to actually look like. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to focus on this is going to be you, and we're going to want to focus on two legs, so Sally and Jen. Now, notice how Sally has an order of 122 PV and Jen has an order of 132 PV. Okay, now each one of these rectangles is going to require 600 PV. Okay, just like how we talked about in the previous video. All right, this one 600, this one 600, this one 600. Okay, so on. All right. Now, what we want to do is we want to get this volume up to at least 2,000, and then we want to get Jen's volume up to at least 2,000. Okay, and so what that's going to do is it's going to create an executive leg and an executive leg. All right, and then when we reach over here to Mike, if Mike has a volume of 1,000, or between Jen and Sally there's 2,500, then your overall volume is 5,000. Okay, so these say team volume in here, which means these orders right here. But in all actuality, the overall volume itself is gonna include everybody underneath Jen. So it's gonna include Kim, Patsy, and Suzanne, Michael, Ben, and Sue, Steve, and Susan. Okay. Now notice how this person almost has their 1,500 bonus built out, right? So this is a great place to put your customers as well. For people that don't want to build but yet plan to order on a monthly basis, this is nice. And they can upgrade at any time to a wellness advocate and make income if they decide to do that later on down the road. And which is kind of cool because then you have 14 days to move them. And so let's say Katie was a customer and she decided to become a wellness advocate. If you want to then move her, let's say she's your enrollee and Helen's just the sponsor, and you want to move her over to Jessica's team to kind of create a little bit more volume, you can actually do that, which is really cool. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a plan of action to take. And so once you get kind of versed in how it works, you'll be thinking of moves like that in order to increase your volume and kind of make it work for you. Okay. And so what we'd want to do is then focus on Jen and Sally. Now keep in mind, so this would be you. So you personally enrolled Jen, you personally enrolled Sally, and let's say that you also personally enrolled Allison and Deborah, okay? Meaning Sally, you just placed Allison under Sally. So you enrolled Allison, but you didn't want to put her on your front line, so you put her underneath Sally to help Sally out to get volume. Because remember, we want to build down so that we can create a premier in less time, okay? Now the nice thing about Premier is it opens you up for that extra bonus. As long as you're enrolling at least one person a month and you hit Premier, you get that extra $200 bonus, which is roughly what it is. And the nice thing is if you have the enrollership of Allison, and Deborah, if Sally doesn't enroll anybody, and let's say Jessica and Helen aren't here, but you have the enrollership of Allison and Deborah, and let's say Allison is going to town and she hits, because look, she's got an overall or total volume of 876. So let's say Allison's going to town and she has a volume of 3,000, and Jen has one of 2,000. That's going to qualify you as long as you have the enrollership and keep the enrollership of Allison. Allison can be your qualifier as the executive along with Jen, and you'll still hit Premier. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's the fail safe is what you're putting into place, is that you're the enroller of Sally, you're the enroller of Allison, you're the enroller of Deborah. So any one of these, you only get to count one, but any one of these people can hit the rank to rank you. Okay. So that's the nice thing about keeping enrollerships and building downward, so that you can then have a fail safe. So just in case Sally decides, nah, I don't want to grow the business anymore, and you know, or whatever, you can then transfer the account to somebody who does, which is nice. So don't worry about that. But what it will do then is it'll make it to where you can still qualify and you won't have to worry about rebuilding a leg or losing a bonus or anything like that. Okay, because we always want to keep our momentum moving forward. All right. So hopefully that helps with learning what Premier is. So focusing on those two legs, building those down. We really want to work on that pipeline and start laying a lot of that pipe. Now, once you get really good at enrolling and inviting and teaching and enrolling and inviting and teaching and enrolling and inviting and teaching, then we grow Mike's leg. All right. So you do your two first, and you build down, and then you enroll Mike and start building his team down. Okay. If you have any questions, please let me know.